Welcome to the Koi Pond,
Yes.
episode
Six.
6.
Yep.
Amazing.
We made it.
How many subscriber viewers are we up to now?
We are now up to 43 subscribers. And the last video, I think, has already beat our top video so far. So that's on a week ahead, too. So,
So it's in the 50s?
yes, I think it hit 60.
Okay,
So
sweet.
pretty damn good. Thank you,
Thank you, everybody.
watchers and listeners.
Yeah, we appreciate that very much.
Very much appreciated.
Not sure if you've noticed yet, but we do have a new item in the pond.
Yes, pause
Very-
now and play Spot the Difference.
Very exciting. So take a look around the room. But up here in the back, fabulous gift from Carol,
Yep.
co-worker of ours.
Mm-hmm.
And the Koi Pond bottle opener actually becomes the first official Koi Pond merch,
It does.
and so it's very exciting.
Very
time
exciting.
here,
No,
so.
it's sweet. I love the way he did it and everything. It looks sweet.
Yeah, very cool.
Did not expect that at all. That's
Not
for
at
sure.
all. Thanks again, Carol.
Yes.
Appreciate that. C squared, how have you been doing?
I've been good. Been good. We're getting ramped up for Christmas and then New Year's. Lions Cowboys game,
Yeah.
of course.
Tiny
Which
little
will be
game there.
Fun. So we got a jam packed week there for about a week coming up. But
Yep.
excited to be finishing up stuff here and then looking forward to vacation as always.
Nice.
How about yourself?
Yep, about the same. Just a few more days of shopping left, so
Yeah.
everyone's frantically running around trying to literally wrap all that up, if you will, and
Yeah. No kidding.
so we hope everybody out there is having fun and being safe over these last few days when
Always.
it gets extra nutty for sure.
Uh,
Slow down a little bit, enjoy it,
mm-hmm.
and just take it all in. It is great. The lights, the music, the
The
movies, the atmosphere.
And it looks like it'll be a nice 50 degrees and rainy, at least here.
Yeah.
Here in Dayton. So
Nice and balmy,
yes, plenty to look forward to as always in the great East.
for sure. So let's roll on with how the Koi Pond pick didn't do
Yes.
last
yes.
week. Again, if you took Colin's invitation last week and went
Faded.
the opposite way of our pick, again, you'd have won for the fourth in a row.
Fourth in a row.
So
We're kind of whatchamacallit, what am I thinking of? Undefeated
Yeah.
and completely defeated.
we are.
So,
Yeah, review for us what we picked and what turned out.
I'll be honest, I think I blacked out. We took the under and
It was the
over-
Chargers and the Raiders.
Chargers and the
On,
Raiders.
again, our Thursday night
Yes,
picks.
Yes, that's right. Now it's all coming back to me.
And was it under 30? You said. So
Yeah, the
total.
the official was I think under 39 was the pick, and
So-
it blew by that by the end of the first half.
So in case you don't know what the score was, we took the under about 30 points,
Yeah,
and the actual score turned out to be 84 points total.
one of the highest scoring in recent memory. for sure.
So I remember flipping that on and being like, "Holy shit, we are really bad at this."
Not only did we miss, but we missed by a mile.
So you kids remember, always go the opposite of the Koi Pond pick. So
I did the math on it. Assuming it's a 50-50 chance on a guess, like a coin flip, there's a 6.5% chance that you could guess all four incorrectly in a row.
So
So
essentially, we're experts, right?
Yes, yes. To the naked eye, it looks terrible, but these numbers are actually some of
Closer
the best we've ever seen.
Examination is
Yes.
needed there.
Yes, you need to look behind the numbers, not
Yes.
just in front of them. Regardless, we're going for 0-5, so please fade. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I think I've got something good picked for
So
this week.
so stay tuned for the Koi
Yes.
Pond pick. We'll get to that later in the
Yes.
show. But for now, let's begin the roll through week 15,
Oh,
which
yes.
we just started with the Raiders and the Chargers.
Yes, that was an absolute. I mean, for what it's worth, they fire Staley, they fire Telesco. If you want to see how I feel about that, you can watch episode 3 or 4.
Mhm.
I'll put a link somewhere up here on which one it was.
There you go.
But I was waiting for this to happen. We were waiting for this to happen. It finally happened. Spanos came up with another great statement to the fans right here. But it's all good things. That score looks terrible, and don't get me wrong, it was terrible. Thank God we didn't go with Easton Stick 4 or 5 years ago and waited for Herbert.
Yeah.
It also shows how important Herbert is to that team.
Yep.
And if I hear any more slander about him being terrible, I swear to God I'm going to lose my shit.
Yep.
Clearly that team is flawed in every way. I don't think talent-wise it's the end of the world. They've always been riddled with injuries. Coaching's not been good. They're fixing some of that up. I'm not worried about it. I honestly almost thank the Raiders because someone had to beat the shit out of them to the extent that they did that.
Yep.
And it took a divisional opponent. Maybe Patrick Mahomes kind of has feelings for Justin Herbert. Maybe Russell Wilson doesn't have it in him anymore. But leave it to the Raiders with Max Crosby to beat the piss. I mean, that was a crazy interception that Raiders linebacker
that one-handed deal.
One-handed behind
Oh, my
him.
gosh.
Props
One
to
of
the
the
Raiders.
best plays ever, I think.
No hate. It needed to happen, and that's what it was going to take to get them fired and out. And we look to the future. Who knows who the next coach and GM will be?
Yep.
Not a big deal to me at the moment. Front runner looks like Jim Harbaugh from rumors. Don't hate that. Don't hate Belichick. Frankly, anything's better than what it has been, so I'm not even going to complain. There's plenty of time between now and when that's going to happen. So half these rumors are probably bullshit.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to be Harbaugh or Belichick, and frankly, that's okay too.
Right.
So we'll look to the future. Short story long, Raiders beat the absolute piss out of the Chargers. It'll be all right.
Well, time to bolt up. Nowhere to go but up from here. So
Can't get much
it's
more.
exciting.
Yeah.
Finally, you got the house clean, and that's what
Right.
needed to happen.
That's what we were hoping for.
And then we had the rare on Saturday. We had the rare triple slate of games.
Which I actually enjoyed quite a bit.
Yeah, it was good.
I wouldn't hate if they did that more often in November.
Jake Browning for the Bengals,
That comeback.
making the Vikings pay for
cutting him.
him.
3 times, I think.
And he was
Fired
very
up.
didn't say much before the game, but afterwards clearly
Yeah.
it was on his mind.
It's smart on him to talk his shit at the end when they come back because that was a 14-point deficit at one point I think they came back from.
Yeah.
Shout out Elsa's in Springboro. That's where we were hanging out. And
Nice.
it was gloom and doom. There was no one there except for, the people I went with. And holy hell, what a way to come back and win that game. And, Bengals, again, like we've said before, are looking dangerous going in the playoffs. I'm not saying they're going to beat
Yep.
the Ravens, but they do look good.
Yep, they definitely do.
And sneaky dark horses, all I'm going to say.
Agree. Pittsburgh at Indy, no surprise there.
No.
Pittsburgh's a mess right now.
They have
Indy's got enough, Minshew's good enough. They've got enough people to get the job done, and Pittsburgh just doesn't have it going right now.
T's and P's to Michael Pittman Jr., though, getting his head absolutely taken off his shoulders. I recommend watching the hit. It wasn't the worst injury you've seen on a YouTube clip, but oh my God.
Kazi was the guy that hit him.
I think so, and
He was
gone for the season now.
Gone for the season, suspension.
Yeah.
He was with the Cowboys a few years ago,
Was he
and I wondered why they cut him. And what I read about him was he's undisciplined and isn't coached very well.
and-
Yeah, so
hopefully he figures it out. I do know that wasn't his first instance, and that's why they were so quick to, ban-hammer that guy.
Yeah.
But, thinking of Michael Pittman Jr., hope the best for him.
yep.
Good on the Colts.
Denver, Detroit. I thought that was going to be Denver's upset game. They were going to win. The Lions rebounded in a big way.
Yes, Lions were home in the Dome, Ford Field. Broncos went in there with a little bit of fire, or they were on a hot streak.
Yep, they were.
Lions were a little bit on the down. Honestly thought that game would be closer. I didn't doubt their offensive ability on the Lions, but the way it had trended up till that point, it felt more like a Broncos game, and Jesus, was I wrong. Lions.
Goff with 5 touchdowns. Sam Laporta, the rookie tight end, with 3.
I know, that was crazy.
Guy's a
I
beast.
think that was the first time they said it in I'll find the stat, but it's been a while since I think a rookie tight end has gotten that many touchdowns in a game came out. So
crazy stuff.
yeah, Lions are looking good again.
Looking good. Here we go.
And the Broncos, now that makes it harder for them to win the division if they wanted to, which
Really
I
does.
kind of wanted them to win over the Chiefs just for the fact it's been the Chiefs the last 3-4 years maybe now.
Yeah.
I might be remembering that wrong, but
Sounds
Chiefs
about
have been
right.
front runner for a while.
Yep. We had so moving on to Sunday's games.
Yes.
The Chicago at Cleveland ending. Browns played great. Flacco played great. Chicago at the end, should have actually won the game on a crazy Hail Mary play.
Yeah, was that?
That was Mooney.
Yep.
Yeah, it hit him in the hands, and
then he fell down. And it's just right there.
I think it just shocked him. The ball was right there, and it was
caught
almost
by
like,
surprise.
huh?
Yeah, it felt like there was a little bit of panic, and you just got to feel bad.
Yep.
But I mean, the Bears don't look terrible. They
No.
put up a fight against the Browns.
They
which is
really
pretty
did.
Impressive. So
Yep.
with how the season started with Justin Fields' injury, that's not great. But what do you expect at this point?
crazy that the rushing leader in that game was Roschon Johnson with 36 yards.
Yeah.
He led all running backs in that game.
I would not have expected that.
Crazy. Tampa, Green Bay, another playoff implication game.
That was huge.
And Tampa Bay just manhandled them at Lambeau.
I know. Baker Mayfield technically had a perfect game, QBR-wise, I think it was.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought the Packers had some juice.
Me too.
I think that was at
Green Bay.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Never mind. Green Bay's
34-20 at Green Bay they lost.
I was going to say, with both of them having outdoor stadiums and Tampa Bay, being on the opposite side of the U.S.,
that's tough. Yeah, exactly. So Tampa's the front runner now for that playoff spot.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
At least someone's heating up in that division.
A few more weeks here, it could go three
way.
different directions.
And the fact that Green Bay is that inconsistent right now is
the last couple of weeks they were not good.
Lost to DeVito, lost to Baker.
Yep.
Not really sniffing playoffs at this point.
Nope. Definitely.
Bad.
Houston at Tennessee, impressive.
Yes.
I did not think Houston had it without C.J. Stroud, and this just goes to show you that this team has more than just that guy.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm pretty sure Houston's banged up on their defense, so the fact they were able to hang in there, even, it's Will Levis, it's not maybe a veteran quarterback, but he's looked really good.
He's done well, and it was on the road, so they had to come from behind.
It adds an element.
Yep, and Case Keenum from the previous, we looked at ages. Oh, we looked at ages a couple days ago, but
the
oldest quarterback, Case Keenum, one of the oldest quarterbacks in the NFL. So, Flacco is in there, Case Keenum, both of them won. Yeah. Crazy, right?
Who would have thought?
That leads us to the next game. Jets at Miami. Miami 30, Jets nothing. I think that Rodgers is going to be activated off the injured reserve. But that doesn't mean he's going to play. So
yeah, I was going to say, I was watching the news this week. It sounds like he's not going to play, but because they activated him from the whatever window, now they have to put him as
on the roster.
Possible. Yeah.
Okay.
They're playing roster. What am I thinking? Jump rope right now, but he won't be playing this year. He already announced. I think he'll start. He'll start next year, obviously, but he said he's not 100%. There's no reason to push it.
Yeah.
Since the Jets aren't even.
Especially
sniffing.
with it. If they had won that game, it would have been a different story.
Yeah.
But, so interesting. Miami, after they lost the previous week, I believe.
Yes, they lost. They did lose previous week.
Miami's back on the winning there.
Yep.
Kansas City had the blessing of New England on their schedule.
And they still made it look a little tough.
Only winning by 10 is awfully tight.
Well, I think at the beginning it might have gotten off to a rough start, or there were some things.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly now, but... Yeah, only winning by however much against the Patriots.
Yeah, 10 points.
Yeah.
It's 27-17, and you had some things in there from Belichick that were controversial, some decisions he made, so that to boot.
Interesting. I don't know. Chiefs holding out, that's a Tom Brady mentality, but, it doesn't feel like the same Chiefs team from the last few years.
Yep. Let's see, Giants at Saints. I really thought that the Giants would play that one a little better, but 24-6 Saints.
Yeah.
The Italian Stallion.
Well, you see he changed his agents too.
Did he really?
He did. So he dropped that Italian mafia-looking guy.
Did you see he had a green suit on for this game?
Yes.
That's crazy.
He had his Italian-American Hall of Fame jacket on, I think it was. Or
oh, my gosh.
Hall of Fame is. He had his jacket on for that. Yeah. So... thoughts and prayers to the agent, but DeVito did not look like the Italian Stallion in that game, and I think that will quickly get put out because Tyrod Taylor will probably start this week.
Yeah,
I guess.
heard him being called Tommy Cutlets. Had you heard that one yet?
Yes, Tommy
and I'm
Cutlets.
Like, what the hell is that? And one of the other announcers was asking the other announcer. He's like, "What the hell is that? I've never heard that." Like, because his mom makes
chicken cutlets.
All the time. I'm like, oh, okay. Well,
and he'll be watched.
That story might be winding down.
Yeah, I think it is. Hats off to him. It's good for the NFL. But
maybe he rallies yet. Who knows, right?
It felt like that was going to happen sooner than later since they got Tyrod back anyway. Not saying Tyrod's the cream of the crop, but he's there.
Yeah. So we have Atlanta at Carolina, maybe the weirdest game of the week.
Yeah.
Carolina hasn't beaten anybody.
No.
Atlanta was leading the division 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And Carolina beats them 9-7, which is just insane. Bryce Young had one of his best games, and so Atlanta now is on the outside looking in.
Yeah, Atlanta not looking great.
No, Not much more to say on that one, I think.
No.
Washington at the Rams. Tell you what, the Rams are coming on
Strong.
fast. And, if you look at this, the Rams won 28-20. Stafford's making some great throws.
Yeah, I mean, that team's coming alive.
Kerryon Williams, the running back, had 152 yards.
Mm-hmm.
That guy is a beast.
I think he has the fourth most rushing yards in the NFL right now.
Yeah. He's moved up again, I think.
He keeps moving up. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think of the Rams as a running team, but they've got that ability.
And they've got that whole thing going on right now for sure. San Francisco at Arizona,
Yeah.
Arizona was just a speed bump for the 49ers,
It really was.
who are still the best team right now, in my opinion, in the league.
You just keep thinking they might fall into these trap games. They just keep going over people. They're just steamboating.
That combination of all these, Purdy and McCaffrey and Samuel and the play calling,
Yeah.
they just don't let you get to them.
No.
They're so calm.
It feels like they're on a mission after how last year went.
I
and
agree.
It doesn't feel like anybody's able to stop them right now.
I completely agree. And now we get to my rant.
Oh, boy.
The Dallas at Buffalo debacle.
Yes.
31-10 Buffalo. Dallas was never in this game. And I'll tell you what, I mean, before the game was 14-0, the Cowboys had a roughing call on Josh Allen by DeMarcus Law.
Mm-hmm.
They had an unsportsmanlike conduct call on Curse on a key third down. They had him stopped, and you just plowed into him, almost kind of like the Kazi play in the other game we talked about. Running into the punter by Sam Williams, number 54.
Oh.
He had it blocked. And instead, as he gets to the punter, did you see it?
Uh-huh.
As he gets to the punter, he jumps in the air, completely misses the ball, and then comes down and hits the kicker. I'm like, you fucking moron. Just run through it.
That was bad decision making.
Bad decision making. And he had it.
Yep.
All he had to do was keep running. He jumped. Ball went right beside him. Stupid. And then they finally got a play that was going to go their way with a fumble.
Right.
And McCarthy didn't challenge it.
No.
It was called down. It was clearly a fumble. No flag, no red flag, no challenge, no nothing. You should have thrown the flag, McCarthy, because the Bills were scrambling to the line to snap the ball.
Yeah, it should have given it away.
So just stupid, 4 stupid plays before it was even 14-0
Mm-hmm.
in the pouring rain, and then Cooks goes off looking like Walter Payton. Who he's a good back. He's not Walter Payton, not yet anyway.
No.
So just a complete stupid game by the Cowboys. I will say the Bills needed the game more than the Cowboys.
Right.
Stupid game nonetheless.
Yeah.
Lose a close one, I'd be fine with that.
Right.
But to not show up, ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. This thing was so bad halfway through the third quarter, you couldn't even get mad.
Mm-mm.
It was just like, what the fuck?
It was frustrating to watch.
So, there we go. That's my Cowboys rant. I don't know what to make of that crap.
That away record doesn't help either.
No, terrible.
It's interesting.
Yes.
It's weird to try and make something out of it, just with all those stats on the side about when they win, it's all these things, but when they lose, this is all what's happened.
Yeah. And it was interesting looking at it. So I didn't realize back when Jason Garrett was coaching the Cowboys, they actually had one season where they went 8-0 at home and 0-8 on the road.
Oh my God.
So you want to talk about a total disaster?
Yeah.
So
I don't know what to make of it.
there we are again, basically.
Yeah.
Baltimore, again, my opinion, number 2 overall team, rolled over Jacksonville.
They did.
Jacksonville is a pretty tough opponent.
They are,
and especially to beat them in Jacksonville like that, 23-7. I mean, Jacksonville had no answer for the Ravens.
No, and for what it's worth, at the beginning of that game, it did not look like that was going to be how it ended up. I mean, both these teams were struggling early, and by the end of it, Baltimore comfortably came away with that.
Yep.
But I mean, it started ugly from what I remember watching it.
Yeah, you're right. It really did. And then the game that saved the weekend for me. Seattle pulls off the miracle win at home against the Eagles, 20-17. And Drew Lock, my gosh, you got to love the guy. I mean, he just played with total guts. And the end of that game, the throw
that was
to the end
crazy.
zone was just nuts. And I don't know if you saw the post game. I couldn't turn it off because I was just so jacked up that they beat him. I mean, the guy was emotional,
Yeah.
talking about Geno Smith and this team and this opportunity, and so hell of a a nice humble guy, and it was cool to see that happen for him.
Yeah, and I don't know what was wrong with the Eagles. I mean,
They-
Hurts was not throwing the ball.
No,
He was not crazy accurate with it.
yeah,
It felt like they were off. Given it could just be the time difference. There's a lot
Could
of
be.
difference
making that
between-
trip to the West Coast and all,
Yeah.
and they had weather in that game too,
right.
rain.
It was rain and
So
terrible. I think it was cold and rainy. So
yep.
who knows? But it was crazy to watch.
And one of the most wonderful things in that game that I saw that just made me giddy was Kelsey, the center, moving the ball, and they called him for a false start
Yep.
on one of the tush push plays, and it killed their chance to get it,
Yep.
which was just beautiful to finally see that thing blow up in their face a little bit.
I enjoyed that too, and I'm
So-
curious now if refs are going to start looking for that. If they've just been getting away with it because there was talks that
Yes.
Pete Carroll was the one that pointed out what they were doing.
And he said, even Kelsey said, they warned me before the game that they were going to be on it.
Interesting.
Before the game.
Yeah, I was just gonna
Go
say
ahead.
going forward that'll be interesting to watch. If
Yeah.
more reffing crews are like, listen, we can't let you get half a yard by replacing the ball, kind of.
Yep. And I will say, Buffalo, that game against Dallas, I almost felt like Buffalo runs the tush push better than the Eagles do.
I could see that.
They've got it, man. I mean, Josh Allen is a big, strong dude. The back gets in there,
Yeah.
Cook and those guys, and they push him. I almost thought they were more effective at it than the Eagles.
They could have been.
I had no idea that the Bills did that.
No, I've seen some teams try it and try versions of it, but that'd be crazy if
Yeah.
the Bills come playoff time, if they make it,
Yeah.
end up doing it more and doing it better.
Yep.
Scary thing to think about, honestly.
Really is.
But hats off to the Eagles for losing that. I thought the Seahawks were going to win that somehow. I didn't realize that Drew Lock was starting.
Yeah,
so by
me
the end
neither.
of that, I was like, oh, there's no shot in hell.
Yeah. Well, you and I were texting before that because they said Geno's active. Then all of a sudden it was Locke's playing.
I know.
I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
I know.
You and I texted and said, well, so much for that.
Yes.
But it's a miracle
And
game.
Kenneth Walker looked good. I mean,
He looked really good. He
He-
was running really hard against the Eagles' D line is no joke.
right, and they're a little banged up defensively,
Yep.
but I mean, to still do that in prime time, I assume most of the game plan would have been running once Drew Lock got announced.
Yeah.
But he did really well.
He looked good.
He showed up when he was supposed to.
Yep.
So good
So,
on him.
That's right.
That's about all I got.
Well, we're going to take a little NFL timeout here,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to shift over to if you watched last week. If you didn't, Colin had the great idea of Christmas movies.
Yes, top 5 Christmas
Yep.
movies.
One thing I want to revisit on that before we move on to your top Christmas songs is Die Hard.
Yes.
You know, one of the most, if not the most controversial, is it a Christmas movie?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it a Christmas movie? What do you all think?
Yes. Comment below. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Yep, comment below, please. Bruce Willis forever said, it's not a Christmas movie. It's not a Christmas movie. Then I saw a list of top Christmas movies after we did our rankings last week. Number 1, Die Hard.
Yep. A lot of people feel very strongly about it.
Yep, and some people, it's their tradition that every Christmas they watch Die Hard.
I will say, though, in my defense, I have not seen Die Hard all the way through in
Yeah.
a single setting. So I didn't feel like I've earned the right to put it on any list, sadly.
Yeah.
But it is hilarious watching people bicker about it because everyone feels, not everyone, a lot of people feel strongly one way or the other.
Yep.
And I don't know.
Saw if you know who Elizabeth Banks is, she's an
Yes.
actress that she's been in a lot of good, funny stuff.
Mhm.
And saw a talk show where she said that her dad, it's the tradition, her dad forever, they've watched Die Hard since he was a little kid.
Oh, that's funny.
And so every year they watch Die Hard, and it's just their tradition.
It's what
so
they do.
kind of cool. So when you go to look at Christmas songs,
Yes.
that's a bitch to raid too.
there's a lot of good songs. There's a lot of songs I could never hear again and be okay with.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Do you want to put these in order?
I will not be.
Okay.
Because I've been forced to listen to Christmas music as soon as it hits December 1st for as long as I can remember.
And you're sick of it?
I wouldn't say sick of it, but a couple years off would probably do it justice. But I still have a couple favorites.
Okay.
So I don't know if I'm comfortable putting them in a 1 through 5 situation. If you do, that's fine.
All right.
I think I'm just going to group mine because mine were the 5 that I hated the least.
I got it. All right. Do you want to take your first stab at it, or
Sure.
you want me to start? Whatever you want to do.
I can do my 5 in no particular order.
Let's hear
And
it.
to preface it, I cannot listen to Mariah Carey's fucking All I Want for Christmas Is You. Jordan, I'm sorry. I know that gets your socks giddy. I cannot fucking do it. I hear that song too much just during Christmas. Nothing against that lady and nothing against you, but good heavens, man. So starting it off, Feliz Navidad
Okay.
is a top one of mine.
All right.
Nice little jingle. It's in Spanish. It's refreshing.
All right.
At least it's a different language for some of it.
I could see that. I considered that one.
I think Beginning to Feel a Lot Like Christmas
Yep.
is a good classic.
Yep.
You know, it's not too harsh, but it gets the point across.
Yep.
My sneaky one would be the Do They Know It's Christmas by Live Aid.
Yep.
That's a favorite. Good chorus. Good catchy chorus in there. I think Last Christmas is another favorite of mine.
That's a good one.
Yeah, classic. And then I'd have to go with Jingle Bell Rock because, you know, it just gets the blood flowing. I could listen to that one at the gym one time in a
And it
playlist,
worked?
and it would be okay.
Gotcha.
And that's my 5 in no particular order. I kind of flew through it, but at the same time, I don't have strong enough feelings to defend any of this except maybe Beginning to Feel. No, Do They Know It's Christmas?
Gotcha.
But
All right.
I think that'd be my top 5.
I like it. Well, that's interesting.
It's random. It's a bit random.
Well, my number 5, so I'm going to start at the bottom and work to number 1.
I like that.
Santa Claus is Coming to Town by Jackson 5.
Okay.
Number 4 is going to be White Christmas by Bing Crosby.
All right.
Gotta love the classics.
Yes. Is he
I'm dreaming of a boo. He's quite the crooner, you know.
Very nice. Very nice.
Those remind me of being a kid, so I
Yes.
like those. Number 3, Jordan, you'll like this. Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Yep, there it is.
Sorry, dude.
Hey,
I gotta have
no
it on my
slight.
list.
Hey, it's just my 5. Doesn't have to be your 5.
Number 2, mainly from Home Alone for me, is where I got really back into this song, but Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree
I forgot about that one.
by Brenda Lee.
Yes.
That's number 2 on my list. It's a classic. Never gets old to me.
All right. Drum roll, please.
Drum roll number 1, Bobby Helms with Jingle Bell Rock.
Okay.
So
Okay. We had the right
Number 1.
We had the right crossover.
we did. So how
Good
about
stuff.
that?
Good stuff. Let us know what was the worst take out of the both of us.
Yeah. Or what song did we miss that?
Yeah. What?
How in the world could you not have this on your lists anywhere?
That would have been Die Hard last week.
Yep, that's right.
Someone would have said something. I feel like about it.
I agree. Fantasy playoffs. What's the latest there? Let's kind of tilt back toward the NFL a little bit here.
I don't know in one of my leagues. Now that I think about it, I don't know if I've checked in one of my leagues, but I'm pretty sure that was throwaway as it was. So I'm just gonna forget that one ever happened. That was with the college buddies. I think I just completely ignored that league for the last few weeks.
Huh.
No idea how that ended up. I'll check that after this. As for Sleeper with the father-son league,
Yep.
Jason, I think,
Don't tell Mom.
absolutely destroyed me.
He had a hell of a week.
He had a good team.
Yes, the commission was on fire.
Yes, which I would like an investigation personally into tampering, but
Tampering with the scoring.
yes, we'll look into
He
that.
threw a few more. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll look at that at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Matt got last.
Matt got last. Is that
Yes,
right?
He got last in the standings and in the bracket.
Oh my.
So I think he's going to be doing a naked mile sometime soon. We're just working out the details.
Okay. Was that established before the season started? Okay. No. Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it was.
And
Yeah.
then in
Yeah.
the RAC league, I don't think Craig tried. Love him to death. I think he gave up.
I think he gave
So,
up there.
I won that one, and it's on to Kyle this week, which projection-wise right now it's going to be a battle,
All right.
and we'll go from there. So
Well.
I think I'm out in 2 and in 1. Short
All
story
right.
long, but I'll take that. The RAC one's the one I want.
There you go. I'm out in 1. The one where I had the trophy from last year again.
All right,
There's
keep the
just
trophy.
no way in hell I'm in last. So hopefully they don't come up with any ideas there what to do. Funny part about it is at the draft, I was the one saying, "Hey, we should have the biggest loser have to do something, get punished." And ever since I started seeing how the season went, well, let's not talk about that. So
no, we didn't establish that.
These assholes will remember. So I'm just waiting to have the gauntlet come at me. We'll find out.
Well, then at least everyone will be on the same page for next year.
That's right.
No need.
That's right. So in the Dad Sons League, Jay Sizzlin and I had a very close match.
Yes.
And so hard fought battle there. I roll on to play the commish.
Oh God! Good.
So
he steamrolled me. So good luck.
His team looks like the schedule favors him this week, and he's got a very strong roster.
Yes,
so.
Our friend gave him Justin Jefferson while he was hurt.
He did
for Tank, I think.
Matt did?
No, not Matt.
Oh, okay.
Different person in the league, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
If my memory serves me, I know
all right.
Stats.
No names on that one, but
no need. But
well, damn, that sucks.
I think Jason took advantage of him. None of us spoke up because we didn't think it actually happened, and then it happened. And
a wee bit of fleecing there.
A bit of fleecing. Again, investigation pending. But, I think Jason's looking to take out our family. And I don't think he's going to struggle with it.
Well,
I was mightily a
I'm going to do my best, damn it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I looked at that today. I'm like, oh, shit.
Try and get in the DMs of who your quarterback is and grease him a little bit. Throw for 500.
And then in the Rack League, I was able to beat Tomato Soup. That's Paul.
Yep.
And this week I roll on to play Trace, who's been really good.
Yeah,
he beat me a few weeks ago.
I saw his record. I was like, where the hell did this come from?
Yep. I'm actually favored in this match according to ESPN, but I don't know about that. We'll see.
Kyle and I think, are within like 3 points, and I don't know if he has his roster maxed to his projection.
Got it ready to go or whatever.
We'll see. I think this is how it went last year, though, is you and I were on opposite sides of the we played each other last year.
Did we?
Maybe. I can't remember now.
Yeah,
but I thought we were on opposites.
I can't either.
On to the next.
Yep. So that's the fantasy roll on.
And I have no real what am I thinking of? Advice on what any of you should be doing in fantasy if you're still in playoffs.
Yeah. If you're still in, don't listen to us.
Don't go with my over-unders, that's for sure. But aside from that, good luck to you guys.
So, a little pause here.
Yes.
I hate to sponsor no sponsor.
Okay.
I think today's sponsor no sponsor is going to be the fine folks at Starbucks.
Okay.
Now, I only hesitate to mention that because I don't want them to go out of business. And as somebody, Jen pointed out to me yesterday, she said, are you guys responsible for Treasure Island not being open anymore?
Yes.
And I was like,
I have to admit, the thought occurred to me. I was looking for big sunflower seeds and a couple of the other places.
So I felt like we had to pick somebody big enough that the koi pond couldn't take them down.
First the picks and now the companies.
Oh my God. There's no stopping this horrible power we have.
When Chargers and Cowboys fans come together, we take down anything.
So,
Starbucks.
Yeah, stay alive, Starbucks.
Yeah, we
sponsor, no sponsor.
We need a win. Before you know it, I'm going to be saying, alternate spread the total to over 21 points in this game.
We're just not picking that anymore. Hey guys, where did that go?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. New koi pond pick for this week.
We do have one.
Shall we
commence? Saints.
Is this the Saints at the Rams?
The Saints at Rams. And frankly, it's a dark world we live in. And 0-5 on the line. The live over-under is 46.5 at the time of the recording.
46.5.
Now, the Saints have a pretty good pass defense from what I saw on ESPN.
Yes.
They do not have a great rushing defense.
Which means that Williams is going to have a massive game for the Rams.
As a betting man for props, I'm saying Williams will have a good-ass game. That's not the pick, but that's what I am pretty sure happens for him. As for that, Puka Nacua,
the receiver.
You know who I'm fucking talking about.
Puka.
Him and
Puka.
Him and Cooper Kupp and Stafford will be just fine. I don't think the Saints in their division have played exactly a crazy amount of caliber, aside from maybe Tampa Bay that's getting hot. So those stats are going to be slightly skewed.
Yep, and the Lions put a lot of points up on them.
Yes.
So that's kind of a comparison to the Rams, I think.
Uh-huh. And as I'm talking this out, I'm kind of flipping what I want. Because the line moved from 44.5 to 46.5.
So that means the odds makers think it's getting worse.
Yeah.
Higher.
They think it's going to go over.
Yeah.
And the Rams, I believe, have pretty average defense. I think there wasn't a stat either way that made me think one way or another.
28. They gave up 20 to the Commanders last week.
Yeah.
They who was that? The Ravens. They gave up 35 to the Ravens a few weeks ago, I think.
So I'm gonna go with it. We're gonna say, God, this is hard. I came in here with the under, but now I've talked myself into the over. And we're going to do it. We're going to go over 46.5 as the official pick. Here comes 0-5, baby.
I think that's smart.
I think
it's going to be over.
I tend to fade the line movement, but I think this week, with how it's been and just overall, I think we're going to go over. Now, what scares me is the Raiders-Chargers game went over by half a mile.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say that was a special circumstance.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
You're saying you're concerned about that because what are the odds of that anomaly happening again?
And it was such an outlier. I'm just going to ignore it. But we're going to go over.
Okay.
Go over.
I like it.
Stick with it. And
I like it.
We'll see what happens.
All right.
We'll see you Friday.
So Saturday, Christmas Eve day.
Yes.
We have the
23rd.
Bengals at the Steelers at 4:30.
Which I think will be a pretty good game because it's at Steelers.
Yeah, that'll help balance it a little bit. Jake Browning going to be a little different on the road.
I think Bengals still win.
I do too. I think it's more of like that 23-16 kind of thing.
Yes, I agree with that.
We have the Bills following up their blasting of the Cowboys at the Chargers.
Yeah, they're again coming for the family.
8 o'clock.
I have no idea what to think.
On Peacock, by the way.
Yes, and just so you know, the line opened at 14.5 and has moved to 12 currently.
Really?
They expect the Bills to beat the shit out of the Chargers, and frankly, I agree.
Interesting.
So we'll see how that game goes. I think it's at SoFi, so I don't think 12 is a terrible number to get the Chargers at. I just don't know what that team has in the tank anymore.
That's interesting. So you have the Thursday game at SoFi and a Saturday game. So they've got one day to turn that stadium around.
It sucks for them.
That's crazy shit.
They'll be going overtime, but you have to assume by this point they have a pretty good way of switching shit out.
Colts at Falcons. Colts will probably demolish them.
You would assume the Colts win that. I mean, it's at Atlanta, but they're both inside stadiums, turf. So I'm just assuming that Colts win that one with not too much trouble.
Yep. Seahawks at Tennessee. Seahawks outside on grass, maybe an issue.
Yeah.
But I think Tennessee is eliminated now, they're not going to. Derrick Henry's already talking about moving on from the Titans.
Well, yeah, when you have 20 carries for 15 yards?
That was insane.
The worst, or the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah.
Sucks to be him. I don't think anybody cares on Tennessee. Seattle needs to win if they want a chance. I don't even know if they have a great chance.
I don't know either.
But that's something to look into. That'll be interesting.
We'll touch on the playoffs here real quick at the bottom of this.
Yeah, no worries.
Lions at Vikings. I think the Lions roll on.
Yeah, I don't see the Vikings being a problem. Personally, I mean, the Vikings might put up 21, but the Lions will put up 35.
Yeah, I agree with that. Probably a high-scoring affair there.
Yeah.
Commanders at the Jets. Ugh.
Did you see that's the 32nd ranked offense versus the 32nd ranked defense?
Really?
Yeah.
Who has the 30?
Jets offense versus
the
Commanders defense.
I'm surprised their defense is that bad, but I guess once they traded away Sweat and Chase Young, maybe that did it in.
I saw that on Instagram, so take that with a grain of salt, but it didn't seem far-fetched because Lord knows the Jets offense can't produce, and that Commanders defense doesn't seem amazing, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Green Bay at Carolina. Green Bay should rebound on that one, I would think.
You would hope.
Yeah.
I mean, it's at Carolina, but that shouldn't be that big of a switch.
Agree. The two teams that had those crazy games last week play each other this week, so we have Cleveland at Houston. That should be a really good game.
I think Cleveland wins that, personally.
Yeah, because you're going to have, again, the two of the three oldest quarterbacks, basically, Case Keenum and Joe Flacco playing.
Yep. I mean, I don't know if Stroud plays or not. I just think that it's going to be Browns getting away with that because of their defense.
Yep.
Is my prediction. Of course, I'm not putting money on it necessarily, but
I think that's going to be close as fuck.
It should be a good game to watch.
Jaguars travel to Tampa Bay. That's kind of an interesting game.
Yes, because with how the Jaguars have been trending, I don't know if they're even alive anymore.
It's not been good.
They haven't had exactly the best time ever, but we'll see.
The thing about Tampa Bay and Baker Mayfield, inconsistent.
Yes.
So it will be interesting to see if they can put back-to-back games together or not.
Is that at Jacksonville?
It's at Tampa.
Okay.
But they're right across
right.
the...
It might as well be home for both of them.
Exactly. Exciting game. The Cardinals at the Bears. I don't know. I might give the Bears the nod at home.
I probably will. Just because that defense hasn't looked that bad.
Not bad at all. And they have found a few things to get going there. So, Carroll, you gave me the gift, and I'm going to pick the Bears. He just mentioned we don't talk about the Bears enough. So,
fair enough. Fair enough.
So, I think Bears take the Cardinals down.
Well,
that's for you, buddy.
Justin Fields has been good. Bears have looked better. They've played some hard teams for what it's worth. I think they have a shot against the Cardinals.
And again, almost won last week.
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm saying. And on top of it, just cover McBride. I think his name is on the Cardinals.
The tight end. He's good. Yep.
So they cover him and just watch for him to run it, which they already practice against a running quarterback. I think they handle the Cardinals.
Yep, that sounds good. Pretty good game here. Dallas at Miami.
Oh, please, I need Dallas to win this game.
This is going to be a track meet, I think.
Yes.
I think that both teams are very similarly built.
Oh, I've been saying they're both the other team of the other side for most of the year.
I agree with that. They're not physical. They're fast.
Yes.
And I think Tyreek Hill was talking earlier in the year. Maybe it was about Diggs, or I'm not sure if it was Bland or Diggs.
I can't remember now.
So the reason that guy didn't play last week, they didn't need him.
Yeah.
Rest him up. He wants to play against Dallas bad.
Yes.
And I know he wants to burn that secondary. So he's going to have, I'd say, 150 and probably a touchdown or two.
Maybe, but I don't think the Cowboys are going to be afraid to blitz Tua, knowing that might shake him up. Given, he took Taekwondo classes or Jiu-Jitsu, so he knows how to roll now when he gets sacked. But
yeah.
It'll be interesting to watch that. I'm curious to see the Cowboys front line against him.
Cowboys this year, when they lose, they usually rebound strong. So
yes.
We'll see if they do that again.
This is at Miami too.
It is. That kind of balances it a bit.
That's what scares me.
Yep, and it's grass, so we'll see. New England at Denver. You would think Denver would roll here.
You would hope.
Especially after last week's debacle. Yeah. They gave up 70 and then the rally started. Maybe this wakes them up again.
Maybe. I mean, yeah.
So that's the slate of games for Christmas Eve day.
Yeah. Yes.
And into the evening there. And then Christmas Day we have 3 games, which I didn't realize there were 3.
Maybe they did something special with Christmas being on a Monday this year, I guess, which
I
love.
Yep.
Is it 1, 4, and 8?
Yep, 4:30 and 8:15.
Just keep doing that.
Perfect, isn't it?
Don't do the Monday night shit where they're both at 8:15 and I've got to pick.
Agree. So we got the Raiders at the Chiefs at 1 o'clock.
That might be interesting.
If the Raiders can carry over any of this momentum.
I mean, it's not out of the realm. I mean, that defense is lighting it up, and that Chiefs offense is struggling. So that could be close. I have no idea what the line is right now, but I wouldn't be opposed to taking the Raiders plus whatever.
Giants at the Eagles. Eagles, I think, are going to roll like a motherfucker on this one.
That should be a stomping.
Yep.
There's been memes already about Boston Scott scoring a touchdown in that game at the end, so something to look at.
I think that one's going to be like 30-10.
Yeah.
And then the potential Super Bowl preview.
Yes.
The last game at 8:15 on Christmas night.
Ravens-Niners, right?
Ravens at the Niners. That is a Super Bowl preview if you've ever seen one, for sure.
I have to say I think the 49ers handled them fine, which only adds to the reason why the Ravens could win in the Super Bowl. I don't think the Ravens put up a fight here. I think this.
Interesting.
I'm sure the spread's like 2.5.
It's got to be
3.5.
It's got to be very small.
But 49ers are favored. I bet it's 3.5, and they give them the win by the field goal and then something. But I don't, for whatever reason, I don't see them traveling from Baltimore to San Francisco and doing much. But that could just be me. Also, the Ravens have not played someone that good in a little bit.
I agree. The 49ers are rolling over people. The Ravens have had some close games
against worse teams. I mean, it's been Jaguars, Rams.
Yeah, and they did blow out the Jaguars, but I just think the 49ers have more talent at the end of the day, and it's at home.
Yes.
So I could see I could see this being 27-24, something like that.
Really, I'm thinking like 27-17.
Okay.
Now, that might be a hot take. I'll just take the 49ers to win, but I think this is going to be a situation where by the end of it, the headlines are the Ravens, Super Bowl contenders, question mark.
Yeah, they're going to drop down maybe
But-
if they lose, potentially.
Potentially.
All right, so there's where we are.
Yeah.
As of right now, in the AFC, Ravens are number 1 seeded. Dolphins, Chiefs, Jaguars, and then you get it in the Browns, and then you have Cincinnati, Indy, Houston, and Buffalo, and really
It's anybody's game.
Denver
5
still
through
has
7.
an outside shot, but I don't think Pittsburgh does.
No, they're still coming down off that stretch where they were somehow winning all these games with negative net points.
Yeah, exactly. It catches up with you at some point, right?
And I mean, Miami, we'll see how injuries affect them. That's what I'm curious about the Cowboys game.
Yeah.
Because Tyreek's going to be playing hard, but at what point does his leg blow up?
Not
or
be
his
able
ankle?
to. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're right.
And Kansas City being 3, the only reason they're 3 right now is because the AFC West is an absolute shit show.
Yeah.
I mean, came out looking good, and it's still a very good division. But I mean, every team in that division except for them is in absolute chaos right now.
Yeah.
And the Broncos, but they got off to a bad start, so
True.
they're playing from behind.
Yeah. No doubt about it.
And Jacksonville, I mean, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if Indy starts looking like they might win that.
They could very well do it.
Losing a few in a row.
They're both
for
8 and
Jacksonville
6 right now.
Doesn't look good.
So they win the tiebreaker over Indy and Houston based on head-to-head win percent. So
A lot could happen in the AFC.
Yep.
It's a lot closer than the NFC, that's for sure.
we got 49ers, Cowboys. How could you get blown out by the Bills and then be
It'll still be 2.
It'd still be 2.
Well,
Thank you, Philadelphia.
yep.
49ers, Cowboys, Lions. The game we're going to gets interesting again now
Yep.
because the Lions and Cowboys are playing for position
Yep.
because they're both 10 and 4. Tampa at 7 and 7, being in the lead, is 4.
Yep.
The Eagles at 10 and 4 are 5th because that's a wild card.
Right.
Then you get into the Vikings are 7 and 7, the Rams are 7 and 7, Seahawks are 7 and 7, the Saints are 7 and 7.
I could see Seahawks, Rams, and Minnesota drops out of there.
Me too. I think Minnesota's of those up in there is the weakest,
Yes.
and I think the Saints are outside looking in.
Yep.
I think Seattle, and I agree with you, the Rams, they're both starting to get their stride. Seahawks are going to get Geno Smith back too, which makes them even better.
Yeah, and they're always playing the elements at home. So if any of their last few games are at home, they have I think a clear advantage just from that point of view. Obviously, they beat the Eagles. I don't know what Jalen Hurts was going through.
Yeah,
but
we know he was ill.
There was something weird there. They're
and
never clear about it.
Well, see, and the other thing too is the Eagles are strange because, so they bring in Matt Patricia. I don't know if he was already there. They bring him in as the D coordinator, and they demoted Sensei or whatever his name was, Sensai.
Sirianni? No,
Not yeah, right.
That dumb fuck right
But-
in his face.
But I do too. I can't stand him. But it's so weird. It's almost like they know something we don't about their team, that they're worse than it looks.
Maybe.
These are desperation
And
moves.
it feels like they use him as a scapegoat because Matt Patricia was never good on the Lions.
No.
He was never good if Belichick was not involved.
And the poor bastard comes in there and loses the first game he's defensive
Yes.
coordinator
And
for.
For what it's worth, I haven't looked at the news to see what happened with him, if anything, any of the tweets, but it's not a good look. And
It's
I don't
not
know
good.
what's going on. I don't know if they knew that was going to happen and then used him as a scapegoat, or if he's just that bad. The defense is banged up, like we've said, but
Yeah.
you're not stopping the Lions at home.
No.
It's the Seahawks. Yeah, they've got Metcalf. Yeah, they got Lockett, but they're using Drew Lock.
Oh my God! Exactly.
I think he beat the Chargers a couple of times. But
Exactly.
It's
I know.
yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
I'm not trying to take away from the Seahawks win because I
No,
loved that.
it was big. Yep. So, well, that's our preview for Week 16 and our playoff check-in. We did want to mention about Miami.
Yes.
So
yes.
You want
Yeah. So this past Saturday.
Miami University.
Yeah, Miami University played App State in the Avocados from Mexico Cure Bowl.
Yes.
And
Very
probably
strange
one
name.
of the rainiest games I've ever seen not get canceled in my life.
Yep.
For a grand total of, what was the score, like 15-9?
Something like that. It was just
stupid.
crazy.
A lot of field goals, a lot
Miami
of fumbles.
used their third and fourth string quarterbacks.
Yes, they got a transfer from somewhere that they used for a little bit and then used the third string quarterback, Just being at the bowl game's enough for Miami. That was cool to see. It was nice. It would have been nicer if it wasn't raining torrentially in Orlando. But what are you gonna do?
Yep.
It was fun to watch, I guess.
Yeah. They had a shot. They had the ball at the end with about 2.5 minutes to go and fumbled the ball.
Yeah.
I think there was like 10 fumbles in the game with the rain, like Colin mentioned.
It was crazy. I mean,
but won their championship this year, so it was a great season for them.
It's fine. They weren't supposed to.
No.
So
fantastic.
Good on them. Nice try. We'll see you next year.
Yep. So we're gonna close out with a new segment called Quotes, Jokes, and Horrible Impressions.
Yes.
And we'll expand this as we move forward. But
yeah, no, I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, and it could have any of these things. It doesn't have to have all of them.
All right.
Maybe one week we'll do some movie quotes.
Okay.
Maybe Colin will do an impression of somebody. And for this one to wrap up, unless you have something after this.
No, I don't think I do.
Got a couple of jokes.
Okay.
Jokes for the pond here. So
all right.
We'll get this started. What do you call a fake koi fish?
Wow. Okay. We're coming out swinging.
What do you call a fake koi fish?
I don't know. What do you call it?
A decoy.
God.
Keep in mind, I am a dad, so
it's
dad jokes,
right up your alley.
Roll in here just a little bit.
We'll give you the pass then.
All right.
That's pretty good.
So I thought we should start the segment with some koi pond jokes. So that's the koi, right?
You got to play into the brand.
All right, here we go. Last one.
Okay.
Short segment this week, but we'll be expanding this baby. What did the fish say to his friend who was acting extremely shy?
What?
What did the fish say to his friend who was acting extremely shy?
What did he say?
Stop being so coy.
God bless. Oh man.
Blub blub blub.
You found him. I didn't know where this segment was going.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
Yeah.
We can expand on that plenty of ways.
Plenty of ways. We'll have some good stuff in there for sure. But I thought for the koi pond, start with a couple koi jokes is a good way to kick it off.
Not a terrible idea.
No.
Man.
So.
And then we might have a special guest next week.
Coming up, huh?
We're figuring out details.
Yep.
But our first one might be on.
Might be our first in studio or guest of any kind.
Yes, and we'll be doing more of these. So if you don't think it's you, and it's probably not, there's still opportunities. We're starting the new year out right.
Excellent.
And hopefully everything on the podcast looked and sounded good this week. Been messing around with the audio, trying to make it sound a little better. So if this audio sounds terrible, we'll adjust for the next one. Go from there.
Yep. We'll do a little shout out to Tim and Darlene.
Yes.
Who a few weeks back, I just went back and looked at it again today and showed Colin. I forgot I had the picture, but during halftime of I think the Cowboys game a few weeks ago, they sent us a picture of them enjoying the Koi Pond podcast on their big screen TV during halftime of the Cowboys game. So,
hey.
Tim and Darlene, thanks for being fans of the show.
Yes, of course.
And sending in the pic. We'll throw something up here
we can
for that.
Yeah.
So
appreciate it.
Yep, appreciate that very much. And again, the viewership is growing, and we're very appreciative of that, especially
very
this
much.
holiday time of the year where you're memories and thinking of good things and all that. So we appreciate you all doing that.
Yeah,
so
cheers.
Thanks very much.
We'll keep grinding, and hopefully the numbers keep going.
Hope you guys have a nice holiday and Christmas or whatever you celebrate. And
this will be our last one before Christmas or before New Year's.
Yep.
After Christmas.
Yep. And then I think we'll be back again next week. And
I think it's going to keep rolling as far as I can tell.
Keep going on from here. So
hell yeah.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate everyone that's watched, subscribed, commented, liked, all those fun things. And we will see you all again next week for the 7th at that point installment of the Koi Pond.
Koi Pond out.